Welcome back. So the way things are going, on any given day, at any given moment, we could be faced with a catastrophe that could forever change the way that we live our lives and could place our lives and the lives of our families in immediate dangers. And with 2024 being an election year full of conflict all around the globe and with new lab-made diseases popping up in our news cycle, it's just as important, if not more important than ever before, to be prepared for the hardships that could come. You know, for many people, when we talk about a societal collapse or a nuclear emergency or some kind of event that could drastically change our way of life, we hear a lot about bugging out. You have your bug out bag, you have your bug out location. People talk about heading for the hills or going underground in a bunker, some rural area, living out their days in solitude, away from conflict and strife and other people in general. Now, a ton of books and videos have been made on this topic. People have made millions of dollars. And while it's been discussed by many people at length, one thing that we don't hear a lot about is what we could be described as the equal opposite of bugging out, and that's bugging in. You know, it's cool and exciting to talk about heading up into the mountains and living off the land, but it's more practical and realistic to expect that many people are going to hunker down in their homes and on their property and defend what's theirs if things finally hit the fan. Our homes hold our families and our pets, most of our belongings, and in many cases, they're the only place that we can store food and supplies and weapons and the things that we will need in case of a severe emergency. Joel Lambert is a former Navy SEAL. He's a BUDS instructor who knows more than most people will ever know about how to survive. Well, Joel noticed that there were a ton of books about bugging out, but none about bugging in. So he wrote one. This is it right here. This is the easy-to-follow book called A Navy SEAL's Bug In Guide to teach you that you and your family can prepare for future hardships in your own home, and how by doing this, you put yourself in an even better position for survival than those who have a bug-out location somewhere that they might not even be able to get to when things get bad. So to learn more about bugging in and to get a copy of this book for yourself, members of this audience can head over to buginguide.com/stew. Again, that's buginguide.com/stew. But you need to act fast before they run out of stock because a limited supply of Bug-In guides can be printed. It's a very interesting and timely topic. For more on this, we're now joined by Joel Lambert, the author of A Navy SEAL's Bug-In Guide. Joel, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you being here. Bugging in, who would have ever thought of this? I mean, I hear bug out all the time.
Yes, sir, Stu, and that's in fact exactly why I wrote my book. I did, after my time in the SEAL teams, I did several television shows for Discovery Channel, actually. The biggest one was called Manhunt. It was called Lone Target in the U.S. and France. And I would, in effect, bug out. I would insert in foreign countries. I'd skydive in places I wasn't supposed to be. I would cross borders underneath trucks. And then I would ping that country's special operations force or fugitive recovery team to let them know I was there. And they would send their specialty tracking unit, their special police unit, or their special operations force after me with all of their assets, drones, dogs, trackers, whatever they might happen to have, to try to track me down and capture me before I made it to an extract point 3 or 4 days away. And so, being that I was on a global international television show, global international,
and around the world.
Exactly, around the world. I was bugging out for a living, so I would get asked all the time by press and by fans, you know, what's in my bug out bag? What are my bug out tips? And would I like to create a bug out bag for, you know, marketing? And I always said, bugging out is a bad idea. It's a last resort. It's based on military escape and evasion, where you've lost your entire team. You don't have any weapons. You may not have any radios, and you missed your pickup, and they know where you're at. They're coming after you. It's a bad situation. In survival, we have what's called the rule of threes, which is a good guideline to prep yourself whenever you're in a situation where you don't really know what to do. And the rule of threes says you can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. And what that does is it sets up an order of precedence for spending your energy. So what do I need to do first in order to address the needs that are going to come up quickly in the order of precedence? And so why would I want to leave my house where I have my, like you mentioned, I have my guns, I have my food, I have my tools, I have communication devices, I have all of my things. I've got shelter, I've got warmth, food, water, and air to go someplace with a bag of limited equipment to try to acquire those things in a different situation. It's just tactically a very bad choice to make 99% of the time. There's always, you can always be prepared. You can always head out someplace. But for the most part, in almost every situation, having your house set up for you to protect your family and have everything you need and operate out of is the best choice. And on top of that, like I mentioned when we were talking in the green room, I don't want to sell fear. This is not, I mean, there's a lot going on in the world over the last several years.
Yeah,
and
sure is.
People are, I mean, rightfully so, are stressed out about the situation, and there's a lot of fear. But this book is not about fear. This book is about setting us up so that we have community, so that I have my beehives, I've got my garden, I've got my hay that I'm growing, I've got whatever I'm happy to doing, and I know the lady down the street who's the herbalist. I know the guy I get my raw milk from. I know the guy I get my grass-fed beef from. I know all these people, and we have a community where we know each other. We know the property lines. I know the assistance I can get from them. I know how I can assist them with what I have and what I build. I want to build a world where we are free from the toxic BS that's being put in our bodies through our pie holes and through our shoulders and through through the air we breathe and the water we drink. I want to get back to a pure natural life with humans interacting with each other as we're supposed to, and connecting to the earth, connecting to the ground, connecting to the air, connecting to the food supply, and connecting to the people that we have, and building a world that we want to live in. That's what this book is all about. Build the world you want to live in.
You know, I'm looking at some of the recipes that you have in here too. These are like super easy, by the way. This is not something that you like go and bake, or, you know, it takes a whole lot of prep. But I mean, this stuff here is like, you show the calories, you show the carbs, you show how many grams of fat, how many grams of protein. I mean, I'm talking about somebody who just even wants to get in shape. These foods right here, along with, you know, maybe an hour of exercise every day, you'll be cut up. I'm telling you. I mean, this is very similar to the program, the foods that I was consuming when I began my Energized Health protocol, and it literally only took me 8 weeks to lose all of the fat, just melted away, visceral and subcutaneous fat. But visceral fat goes up alongside of your organs. It gets really dangerous for you. But I shed all that fat, and then pretty soon all the definition started coming. And by week 10, I had just a raging six-pack.
Amazing.
And this is the kind of stuff that I was eating. It's really not that difficult to be in shape. But also, I mean, some of the other things here, and yeah, of course, we're not fear-mongering here. We don't want to, but I mean, obviously being prepared takes a lot of the fear away.
Absolutely.
But I mean,
that's the key right there.
Communication. You've got ways to filter water. You tell people what mistakes to stay away from, deadly water storage mistakes to avoid. I mean, all kinds of different things in here. So to talk about some of the other things that I haven't mentioned. We've got, I mean, obviously food and water. Those are very important. What else am I going to find?
Well, there's food, water, shelter, of course, the big ones. Preserving water, that's something people don't think about a lot. So preserving water, food, everyone thinks about. But there's lots of other things you need to keep in mind as far as, I mean, we go into stuff like how to talk to FEMA if FEMA comes into your area, what you're obligated to do and not obligated to do.
I know what I would say to FEMA if they came into my area. I probably can't repeat it right now. I think we're on DirecTV, right? Yeah.
There's some nicer ways to say those same things and to establish those same boundaries in my book. So we have everything from weapons and fortifications and booby traps, which is kind of what I did on TV. So that's what people know me from. And of course, my SEAL career. But I talk to guys all the time, and they're like, yeah, if it's a fan, I'm just going to, I've got guns. I'll go take whatever I need. Well, yes. And that's a very bad route to go down. It's not going to last you very long. It's not going to get you as far as you think you are. And you're going to completely screw up any chance you have in building community and getting help from people. There's just so many.
Eventually, you're going to run across a guy that's
got bigger guns,
more prepared, and better trained than you are, who can rely on his training and instincts. I mean, you even have stuff in here talking about allergic reactions if you're in a survival situation and you happen to have allergies. How to handle arthritis and inflammation. I mean, obviously people aren't going to be able to get their prescription medication if something catastrophic happens, pain management, all of these
There
different
are ways
things.
to stockpile that I cover in the book. There are alternatives that I cover in the book. And even better, there are plants that you can grow in your garden that are actually more effective than prescription medications. They're just, you can't patent a plant, and you can't make money off of selling a plant to the masses. And so they're not going to tell us about that. So
many people that I've talked to before, and this is, it just goes to show you that normal people, they aren't trained. You obviously have very extensive training as a Navy SEAL and a BUDS instructor. I had a lot of training, as a bounty hunter, and I went through a lot of police escalation training, things like this. And I asked people, I say, under stress in a crisis situation, if you lose power and you can't, what are you going to, like, what are you going to do? And these people don't understand that. You have how to produce energy and electricity. And then a lot of people, I say, well, what are you doing to stock up on food and water? Like, what does your food and water supply look like? Oh, I get a full side of beef every year. I've got more meat in my freezer. I will feed my family no matter what. Well, really, how are you going to keep that meat?
Yeah, exactly.
Like without electricity, how you can, and then they just look at you like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. Well, yeah, of course not, till the damn lights go out.
Exactly. I was in Afghanistan on my first deployment, and the food over there, this was before everything got, built up, and all we had were really bad military rations. And so I heard this from the guys that had just got back. So I bought probably 100 pounds of steaks, and I shipped it. I brought it with me over to Afghanistan. I put it in one of the chest freezers. I was thinking, me and my platoon, we're gonna have steaks all the time. We went on a 3-day operation. The power went out for a couple hours in Afghanistan in a chest freezer. Boy, when I opened that top, when I came
rancid,
back,
yeah. You've probably seen some disgusting things, but that smell might have made you want to puke.
It was in the top. Yeah.
You talk about recommended handguns,
yes.
All kinds of different calibers. I mean, this is a very, very comprehensive guide, and this is how to bug in rather than bug out, because bugging out is just not a tactically sound decision to make when things hit the fan and when things are going wrong. You've got these available right now at buginguide.com/Stu for my viewing audience here, for everybody in Stu Crew. You're going to get this, but you got to hurry up because you can only print so many of these things. buginguide.com/Stu. I want to tell you that I really appreciate you sending me a copy. Even the only 12 medicines that you need to stockpile. These are all the things that people don't normally think about. Joel Lambert has done all of the thinking for you. He's put it in a very comprehensive one-stop guide. It's called a Navy SEALs Bug-In Guide. Again, go to buginguide.com/Stu, buginguide.com/Stu. Joel Lambert, for your service, thank you very much, and for your continued service and what you're doing now to help Americans. We appreciate it and appreciate you being here.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. You can go to joellambert.com to find out all the other things I'm up to.
Friends, I would like to reserve this book in your name. It's called A Navy SEALs Bug-In Guide. Inside of this book, Joel Lambert reveals everything that you need to do to ensure that you never have to leave your home during dark times, creating a self-sufficient fortress that'll sustain you and your family for however long it takes, even years until things get back to normal. You'll discover exactly what to do, what to stockpile inside, and how much of it. Long-lasting foods, water, communication devices, a survival generator, and many other items that you'll need to successfully bug in for months or even years. The immediate payoff of having these projects is that they make you independent, self-sufficient on your own property. You don't want to depend on anyone, especially the government, for your basic needs. Go to buginguide.com/Stu to take advantage of a surprise gift that can help you out a lot in the next crisis. This book offer won't be available for long. Go to buginguide.com/Stu. That's buginguide.com/Stu.
What if I told you there was a hostile alien species that controls your appetite, sleep, and focus? Invaders that urinate and defecate throughout your body whenever they are hungry. We call them parasites, and they are the root cause of many health issues that result in pain, suffering, and death. The Purge is our solution. Purge Suddenly offers a unique blend of 17 detoxifying ingredients, including black walnut hull and wormwood, scientifically proven to not only kill parasites, but to destroy and flush them out. If you've never gone through a parasite cleanse or didn't do it the right way, our proven formula prepares you for a complete and total victory. Increased alertness, weight loss, and clear skin are just a few of the potential benefits customers have reported back. Kill the parasites, destroy their eggs, and build a big, beautiful wall inside your body to keep them out. It is time to purge suddenly. It's you or them. Make your move now.
I'm going to ask you for your undivided attention because I'm going to tell you about what could possibly be the most important life-saving supplement that I have ever talked about. It's called Cardio Miracle. Each serving of Cardio Miracle has a combination of over 50 high-quality ingredients, including a huge variety of fruits, vegetables, amino acids, and herbs, all of which come together to promote your body's ability to produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is so important for heart health. It helps to relax and dilate your blood vessels, which supports blood flow and circulation. And I love that you don't have to take this giant pill to get all of this nutrition. No, Cardio Miracle comes in a powder formula, so it's really easy to mix all day throughout the day into juice or water and take it at any time. That also helps to support mood regulation because it's a neurotransmitter. It's a neuromodulator in the brain. So it can support the release of serotonin and dopamine, both of which are really important and involved in mood regulation. Cardio Miracle also supports mental clarity, sleep quality, energy levels. It can even help with recovery after exercise. Nitric oxide is essential for so many functions in the body, and Cardio Miracle supports the production of nitric oxide, so you get many benefits from just one supplement. Please go to highpowerheart.com. Again, highpowerheart.com. I'm telling you, this could quite possibly be the most important supplement that I will ever talk about. Cardio Miracle. Go to highpowerheart.com.